All right, looks like I am live up. Looks like I have an emergency. Stand by.
Good morning, everybody. Hey, Missy.
Hi, Janet. How are you?
I'm good. We missed you at book club the other night.
I know. I was in the middle of a catastrophe,
Oh,
but
you need to
website.
schedule your catastrophes, Missy.
What's that?
You need to schedule your catastrophe.
Yeah, I need to have more convenient catastrophe. I can't find my John book with where I take my John notes. Where's my John book? Where's my John book? John, where's the book? John, where's John?
I think Bob would know better than John.
Probably. Bob
Probably.
knows everything. Bob and Stuart are like here's John's book.
Catherine, we have you on here twice. Oh, there you go.
Catherine's twice as much fun. That's why.
Just to get twice as much sound.
My tab was acting up and wouldn't let me on for some reason.
I have more ways than one.
Yeah.
Oh, how's everybody with the time change?
I hate that.
I wish they'd stop. It's not necessary anymore.
No, I don't think it was ever necessary. It's just goofy.
Well, it was for real farmers.
Oh,
Yeah, but I
really?
mean,
Now we
Yeah,
have
we had-
pretend. Now we have pretend farmers.
Well, I mean, when the much of the country was farmland, there was gave them more daylight hours, but
Yeah, I know. I actually knew what you meant. I
know.
am just, have to be that way. I'm sorry. Stuart. Oh my goodness. We have a Stuart this morning.
Oh my gosh! I hope you brought a llama.
He's got 40 of them on.
No llamas today. Good morning.
No,
How
llama.
are you
Good
doing,
morning,
Stuart?
I'm doing great.
Hey, you look good.
Feeling good.
You got your outdoor gear on. You've been out with
It's been
out with the
beautiful.
boys and the girls.
Beautiful. Yep. Slowly reclaiming my life and feeling good.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. What's behind you?
Some hotel artwork thing.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize you lived in a hotel, darling.
Just for the weekend.
Okay.
Look
Oh,
at
I'm
Gail.
thinking-
Hi, Gail.
How are you, Stuart? How's
Yeah,
it-
hi.
Missy, I missed you. You were gone.
I know. I had a couple of catastrophes.
Oh, are you okay?
I'm okay, but my website got destroyed completely
Oh,
from
no.
from
No.
planet Earth.
Oh,
The
dear.
people who did it are so
Hey guys.
awesome. So see how much I've improved?
Hey guys, can I make a request? I'm dealing with a little emergency and you guys can have a little nice discussion. We're live, so welcome everyone. I will be
Oh.
back in a little bit. Is that okay? You guys can,
Of
Yeah, we're
course.
good, but I
Host
didn't
your own
realize
deal.
we were live, so we've just
we are
been
live.
chatting.
Just
Okay.
the moment we went live, I had to run. I'll be back.
Oh, all right. All right. So everybody sees that at the John Lavenia Success Mastermind. We are family here. And
And we can wing it. We can
and
wing
we
it.
welcome you in. If you want to come be with us, free trial, we welcome you in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
So Missy, everything's better with your website now? Are you working on it?
I have to call up today. I don't know. It's been a nightmare wrapped inside of a
another
bad
catastrophe.
twilight zone.
Did someone come in and take it? What happened to it?
No, the company destroyed it. GoDaddy.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh, I shouldn't have said that.
Whatever. If they screwed up, they deserve to be outed. That's fine.
I took it away from the other company who destroyed it 4 times, brought it to GoDaddy, and then they as soon as I finished, so I had a major meltdown. I like completely lost myself because the work I put into it for a year. And then,
wow.
so
You have all your notes and everything from it? You know what it was?
I don't have energy for that. I would work in the website. I did not.
Okay.
So was this like a blog or like the e-commerce thing or
I
like,
don't know. It's this is what started keeping me alive last year. It was to reach out to people with dysautonomia. And it changed from these are illnesses and symptoms to change your illnesses and symptoms with your mindset to overcome. So I completely changed.
well, that sounds like a bunch of hooey.
That's a bunch of bullcrap, you know that. So,
There's a
back.
book, why woohoo works.
yeah.
John, that was pretty quick, man. You fixed your whole life in 30 seconds there.
Tell you what,
Yeah.
man, we have one episode after another. Back to present time. It sounds like Missy was hosting, so I'll shut up and let
No,
Missy.
it wasn't.
No, we were all discussing things. We were-
Okay. Very good. It was so strange. Catherine was the first one on here. I went live and I was like, and then my daughter walked in and said, yeah. So, okay. So that's all handled. Welcome everyone to our Success Mastermind from Monday, the 14th of March, 2022. John Lavenia, I think so. I think I am. And I'm supposed to be inspiring. I'm supposed to inspire you guys with like good thoughts. Man, can you get your good thoughts from somebody else today?
Is
Missy?
everything okay? Is everything
Yeah,
okay?
everything's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
Going to be, okay, well, future
Yeah,
tense.
yeah. So we're out of emergency mode, just into crisis mode. So
Oh,
so
good.
normal, just normal. All right.
We're sending you positive, and your face is red. Never seen that before.
Well,
We're
that's
sending-
not from anything that just happened. That's from what happened yesterday. And what happened yesterday was I took my family to the Gator Nationals NHRA drag racing, and it was a beautiful day, and we all got some sun. So
good.
there's that. Yeah, yeah. Even my daughter, she got a little bit of sun. So, but good to see you all. And I did have an idea, if it pleases the group, and it was to revisit something that well, you kind of just heard come out of my mouth, and that is I'm John Lavenia, at least I think I am, right? And so it's the whole idea of being and then doing and then having, be, do, have, which is the 3-word philosophy that every time I can remember to use it and just, be in a state of mindfulness about that, I get to be more effective. So this is something that happened to me just today. So I got back from ultimately a weekend trip with my family, which had nothing to do with business, like totally bereft of any business stuff, which is very weird for me, right? Very weird. Usually I've got, business stuff commingled with other things. And I know some of you also have the tendency to bring your work with you wherever you go. It's kind of a blessing and a curse with being, your own boss, right? Is that, well, I'm the toughest boss I've ever had. And so we decided I'm just going to have, nothing but nitromethane and 300-mile-an-hour cars for the day. And which, by the way, the traffic to and from was crazy. Something about Ocala, Florida. Traffic just seems to jam up there on a friggin' interstate, 3-lane road each way, and no crash or anything. Just, I don't know, people that can't keep right and they have to drive slow in the left lane or something. Anyway, it backs up traffic for miles. So, so I got back and I started looking at business stuff, and I've got fires to put out. but mostly in the area of just my own perspective of them, right? They're not really fires. They're just things that I look at and that I find non-optimal. And so I have opinions about. And next thing you know, I'm griping about stuff. And I'm like, oh boy, here we go. Right. So I immediately ran to the cupboard, started eating vitamin B because I know that's helpful, right? Happy pills. And vitamin B, eat your vitamin B, everybody. That's probably the other part of it was eating racetrack food yesterday, kind of like carnival food, corn dogs, funnel cakes, garbage, right? The Italian sausage was great though. I
Hey,
will say that. Yeah. So spend $100 on $20 worth of food and to eat like crap. So yeah, Stuart, deep fried Twinkies. Actually, they did have they had the fried chocolate covered cheesecakes and Oreos and stuff. I didn't indulge. My daughter ate freaking everything. She's interesting, but she's 11 and her metabolism.
yeah,
So
she can handle it for a little while.
yeah. And so anyway, I got back and here's the pile of stuff that has to happen today. And I immediately went. So does anybody else have that experience? Right? You're confronting this mountain of stuff and it's like down goes your attitude. And what
No,
is my attitude?
everything's smooth and taken care of. It all works. There's
Mhm.
never a crisis, right, Missy?
Right.
That's right.
So in case you guys are thinking that, John Lavenia, man, his life is coconut drinks and Lamborghinis. No, I get to handle stuff too. Actually, thank you for no Lamborghini because they're a problem all of their own. Nice to look at, but very fragile. And where the hell do you drive it? So
Not on your interstate, obviously.
well, I mean, the interstate's okay, but yeah, I mean, we're doing the well, Stuart knows, right? Where would you drive a Lamborghini around Taos? There's a few roads, I'm sure. You could probably take it to the grocery store, but for the most part, you need a four-wheel drive, vehicle and all
I
that.
think you have to have some chunky tires and
Right.
a lift and a big old lift.
Right. Yeah, that'd be interesting. So like my wife's Chrysler Pacifica going over speed bumps, it kind of scrapes the ground. So I'm thinking, what would we do with a Lambo? All right. Anyway, plus they're uncomfortable. If you've ever driven a Lamborghini, they're not comfortable cars. They're made for little Italian guys who wear Versace clothes. I don't have any Versace clothes. So the string bean arms that you need to have to get into those shirts. Like I tried to get my arms in the shirts. It's like these guys, they're like string beans.
That's
Okay.
not real Italian men. Please.
I know. I grew up on the Jersey Shore. All the Genzos would be pumping iron at the gym, right? So
Oh, that's Jersey. Okay.
yeah. So back to the idea of my attitude, which because I'm arguably conscious, I could see that it took a dive. And so what is my attitude? It's the culmination of my thoughts, feelings, and actions. Thoughts, feelings, and actions. Okay, so we know that the thought can produce an emotional state, and the emotional state will, in many ways, dictate my decisions about what actions I do or do not take. So what I did, and this was earlier today, what I did was because I had actions that had to be done on a certain timeline, I just decided I'm going to do those actions to the best of my ability, whether or not I'm feeling enthusiastic or inspired or something. I'm just going to take right action. And that brought me up a little bit. So it worked in reverse. See that? So motion and emotion are connected like that. So I took motions, I did actions, and because they were on purpose actions, which I really didn't have a choice, right? I mean, it was like, now it's time to go live and to do the thing with the meeting. And so I did that. And then I found my emotional state improving. And so now I've got a little bit more space, let's say, to, think better thoughts. I'm sure the vitamin B is kicking in and that's helping too. But all this comes down to who was I being in each successive moment, whether I'm confronting, problems or things that I perceive as problems, or, happy-go-lucky stuff. Who am I being in the face of that? Now, I think it was Abe Lincoln that said a man's character is revealed in times of adversity, not times of, plenty or whatever. So who's showing up to do all this? Because and we can assess this for each of us, self-assessment here, because we've built whatever degree of a foundation of integrity, ethical actions and right thinking and study and all the great things that we espouse here in this group. I was able to not sink to, the depths of hell or anything, but just notice that, man, I am not feeling optimal right now. And so I was able to, despite whatever emotional stuff was going on, take righter action, right, and correct course. And now you guys are all helping me do that too, because as I hear this coming out of me, I'm thinking, wow, this is some introspection that I'm broadcasting to the world. That's kind of right. So we're not attempting to be something that we're not, and yet what we actually are is sufficient. There it is. Back to the idea of be, do, and have, right? So if the baseline, if Catherine or Gail or Stuart at their worst is still your high ethics person and, integrity and action and all that, well, all right then. So the fact that we may have down moments, and who doesn't, right, doesn't define us. So I can reclaim, back to present time, I can reclaim, all right, who's showing up right now, right? Oh, I'm causative. That's right, I'm cause. I don't feel like cause right now. I feel like all this other stuff is affecting me, right? Okay, well, why don't you just remember how causative you actually are, and then, release that to what it is, and just piece by piece confront each successive thing, which is already on your calendar, and just do it as optimally as you can. And then guess what's going to happen? You're going to have the result that causative person has. So it's be, do, and have. The idea that that I need to be jolly 100% of the time is folly. Jolly is folly. Aha, look at that. I just coined the phrase. So think about, and because we're getting into this book this week, first 2 chapters tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern. Okay. Anytime I read a sales book or a book on, posture, persuasion, presenting, right? Anytime I get my head into that, it reminds me of another philosophy that I've heard several different ways, which is quadrant selling. Anybody know about quadrant selling or colors or the 4 different sales buyer types or whatever? So this is not part of this book, but it's something that's been kicked around a bit. And I think it will relate beautifully to what I just said about jolly is folly. So the theory is that there are 4 quadrants of personality types that you yourself are, okay, and that also that you're communicating to, let's say in the capacity of a salesperson or whatever. The first quadrant would be a driver, type A personality. The color is red. And again, people just made this stuff up. So don't get married to like the color is red. Okay, fine. So we're just going to call it red. And this is a driver type. Think of somebody like a Donald Trump, get it done. Don't waste my time. We're going to work. We're going to get it done. Right. And we're going to control stuff and we're going to make stuff happen. All right. So that would be one quadrant. The opposite of that quadrant would be the plotter. The color is yellow, slow to make decisions, safety, security, good follower. Okay. Not so much, I'll say reticent to make decisions quite often. Opposite of the red, the plotter. Okay. They need to be handled with care. Okay. The other 2 quadrants, which are opposite of each other, so think of it like a cross or a box or whatever, would be the green, analytical. Here's the accountant. Here's the person who wants every little detail and knows every little detail. By the way, you can't sell them. They have to sell themselves. That's the green or the accounting type, the analytical person. And then the opposite of that would be what they call the blue, the enthusiast, the bubbly, the jolly, the party goer, the poster girl for network marketing. Yay, right? I don't know any freaking details, nor do I want to hear them. So the exact opposite of the analytical. Now we all have a bit of each of these, right? So it's not like I am, strictly, an enthusiast, a blue, right? A party goer. No, not all the time. Okay. If you ask me, what do I identify as, or having taken, assessments and, well, you're this and that, right? So that's kind of helpful, I suppose. But I'm a red green. So driver, analytical, maybe green red. I'm not sure which one's more dominant. They're kind of doing a dance with each other. I am not a plotter, and I am not an enthusiast. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not enthusiastic. Okay, the personality type. Okay, it would be. I mean, put me in a nightclub with pumping music and people getting drunk. I am so out of my element. I mean, I might as well be on another planet. Okay, another planet. But my goodness, sit me down in a library with some of the greatest writing that ever occurred. Sign me up, damn it. Yeah. So very different. Does that mean I can't, be an enthusiast or get into the spirit of the time? Look, I was at the drag races yesterday. People were cheering. We got cars going 300 miles an hour and breaking records, and kids going nuts. Yeah. Different kind of bubbly, I suppose, right? So back to the idea of who am I being when I'm showing up, right? All of these have strengths. Even the plotter has strengths. Sure, and you can consider for yourself. Have there been times when you've been cautious and not necessarily as analytical as like a full-on accountant or something, but there are times when you've sought. Yellows tend to seek out the guidance of reds. Opposites attract, right? So here's the leader, and where you have gotten good mileage in life because this decision maker, this person said, here's what you should do. Sure, right? So they all have their strengths. And by the way, the fact that the yellow, the plotter, the person who's reticent to make decisions, the fact that they can look to others as long as those others are trustworthy, right? The fact that they're able to do that can save them a bunch of time. Whereas the analytical, got to figure it out for yourself. Nobody can sell this to you. You got to sell it to yourself, right? So now in dealing with people, including yourself, it's a good thing to recognize, how is it that I make decisions? How is it? Am I overanalyzing this? So this is something that I have to ask myself. Or is the red, the bull, the charging bull inside me, is that what's causing this upheaval, just because I want everything done now, and that's not done? So looking at that tendency or those proclivities, I can take a step back and say, oh, yeah, John, you're doing it, right? Missy and I, you've had these conversations where we've recognized, wow, I just went off the rails over there. Okay, well, all right, that's fine. But the baseline underneath all of it, the colors and the quadrants and all the psychobabble, underneath all of it is a good and right and ethical person. Is a person who is predestined for success in any areas that are important to you. Not all areas, right? I'm not going to be a successful astronaut. I'm just not interested, right? Other people, yeah, go do the astronaut thing. I'm not interested, okay? But these areas that I am interested in, yeah. I mean, interest renders aptitude, right? So obviously I can, because I'm interested and I desire to. So if we get back to that state of causation, there's that idea again, and that state of beingness, then all these outside influences, well, they're temporal. It's all temporary, right? We're going to get through that, just like we've gotten through everything else. Look, every single person on here has survived. You're not a corpse, right? I mean, something's working for you. That is spectacular. So you're going to do fine. You're going to be fine. And that's what I had to get to today, is despite my own idiosyncrasies and my own tendencies to want this or that, this way or that way, I had to get back to present time and then remember, you know what? It all works out again and again and again. So why am I being so, sideways about this? Let me just go ahead and do my work. And some people find solace in their work. And I'm not saying that you need to take your work with you everywhere. But look, I can tell you I'm happiest when I'm on purpose. Now, having a diversion, a family weekend, Would that even qualify as probably not a diversion? That's a very on purpose thing, right? Going to being a dad, bringing my daughter and my wife, she was there as well. I'm going to post some videos, by the way. I'm going to post some videos of the drag races. It was awesome, truly awesome. Anyone who's never seen professional drag racing, it is the most powerful extreme motorsports ever. But that was something we had planned 6 months prior. Like, holy crap, we're moving to Florida. Let's go ahead and grab, tickets to the Gator Nationals, which happens once a year. 2 weeks after the Arizona Nationals, which we were at last time. So, the point of all this then is that I've got to remember who I am, and that's actually quite sufficient. I think where people get in the dumps and don't get out of the dumps is where they keep bemoaning whatever they thought was insufficient about themselves yesterday or last year or 10 years ago or when they were a kid or whatever. It's be, do, and have. We cannot keep dragging the past into the present to create a better future. It doesn't work. We've got to hit that reset button. And man, when you're in the thick of it, it's hard. It's hard to just say, you know what, I'm going to go do right action right now. So the whole idea of thought, emotion, and action, it can go in both directions. I've heard it said that if you are experiencing, like, let's say a depressed person, right? Here's a depressed person. If you take a pencil, do I have a pencil? I don't know. I got a Sharpie. Great. This is one of those ones that click. It's got the little, keeps it dry. It's got a little thing inside and it clicks and it opens up, and it's kind of cool. But if you take a pencil, you put it in your mouth like this, and you stand up and put your hands up like that with this pencil in your mouth, well, it basically forces you to have smiling going on, that you can snap out of a depression. I don't know, but that's motion and emotion connected, right? So try and be depressed when you're smiling and standing like this. Good luck. Something that, I don't know, it's not going to kill you unless the Sharpie breaks in your mouth and you drink that stuff. Probably, I don't know, but worth a shot if you're having a less than optimal moment. Could be. I know Lindsay, who's here with us right now. There have been times where, and we joke about this because, Lindsay's just very coachable, right? So there's this time we were having a conversation and Lindsay was like slower than slow. And I know Lindsay's very intentional. And I was like, Lindsay, you need to do some jumping jacks or something. And she immediately did jumping jacks, immediately. And now action begets action, right? So now she's going faster. And it's like, all right, great. What are we doing right now? So that right there, look, I've often recommended exercise, which I didn't exercise today. Daylight time got the better of me. That's a great excuse, right? And so I woke up late. And so after having driven back and forth to Gainesville and eating crap food, these are all great excuses. And so I didn't exercise yet today. What I probably should have done is hit the deck and do 50 push-ups. We're hung from, I got a bar over there, on the door jamb. It's one of those equipment, exercise pull-up bars. You can just hang on a door jamb and, do some pull-ups or something, which, by the way, is great for your back, especially if you're sitting on your ass all day, polishing a seat, stretch that spine out, right? Get some, obviously I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving you medical advice. And yeah, I've got a little shoulder action going on, but still to hang a little bit, you don't even have to have in fact, if your feet are touching the ground with your knees bent, just for a little bit of stability, that's actually really good, right? Where you're stretching out the spine. It's not your full body weight, but anyway, you can catch YouTube videos on that. But the whole idea of action, motion, causing you to just feel better. It's good stuff. Now, look, if you came here today and you're all bubbly and you're thinking, oh my goodness, John started with an emergency and now he's talking about, having to pick himself up after having been all sideways. All right. So maybe you're my mentor today. Come on and bring me some good thoughts. Janet, do you have some thoughts for me? Good.
Yeah, I'm wearing blue and I am usually bubbly.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
No, I think what you said, John, you started, the value of routine, which is, the value of routine, the value of knowing where you are is that you can start even if you don't feel like it. You know,
Mhm.
you just started doing, okay, here's the calendar, here's what I need to do. My head's not there yet, my body's not there yet, but I have this routine and this thing that I need to do. You go into motion and it starts to lift you. You start to get back into, oh, this is what I feel like. This is what I act like. I think you're exactly right on with all of that, you know, and it's right. Motion gets us out of, motion gets us moving forward. Motion gets us moving. Motion gets things circulating, and doing that and having your calendar, or your, you know what you want to be doing, what you're on purpose. You start to get back into who you are. You start to, or your most positive place, you
Hmm.
know, and you start to, you start to feel it again. You start to, and I would say that your day away, um, it, yes, you can think of it as on purpose, but you can also think of it as taking a break and doing something totally opposite from what you normally do. And even if it kind of knocked you on the side of the head, and the junk food didn't help, but you know, it sometimes we need to be in a foreign country to know what we have at home,
Hmm.
you know, and you were not completely foreign. You've gone to these things before, but you got yourself just out of who you were. And so when you come back, even if you're a little bit, you know, feeling not quite yourself, you will start to see things fresh. You will start to restate to yourself, yes, this is where I feel good. Yes, this is what I want to be doing. Yes, this is where I'm my strongest, because I took that little break, and now, oh boy, it feels good to be back here. You
Hmm.
know, get a little blue, get a little bit of a rah-rah for yourself, because this is it. You just know, again, you reconfirm, yeah, this is good for me. And so I think everything doesn't have to be on purpose, or the on purpose, Shannon is good at saying, balance things, get things with, so Shannon's his wife, if you don't know, getting, to having family time, having away time, having all of that. That's all really good. And Stuart said he's in a motel right now. So he's away from normal. And I'm dreaming of a mountain cabin with trees around me and a lake, and just being out, being able to rest and get away and being with nature. So no, John, I think you're a good example of how we get ourselves into, popped back into who we are, but refreshed, or re-looking at things, re-evaluating things. Even if it's just to say, yes, where I am is really good and I like it. I do well here. So I think, it's, you didn't think of it that way exactly, maybe, but yes, you are back. You're getting your routine back. And I would have to say, this is the first time in a long time you've had to deal with daylight savings time, having
Yeah.
come from Arizona. So that's a whole factor for you.
Well, I've always dealt with it just in the opposite direction, where everybody else's clocks are changing and now my whole schedule has to change. This has actually been easier. It's we're all on daylight time now, except for our friends in England, which is next week, and our friends in Australia, which is in 2 weeks. And so it's the same, it's the same thing. It's just in different directions. Thank you, Janet. And speaking of mountain cabins and lakes and stuff, I'm really looking forward to, spring, summer, Taos, llamas, like, that whole thing. We can all like do the mountain thing. I'm especially now that I don't live in the West. I'm like, I got to get to the West. I got to go West. So Taos, Stuart.
House is calling.
Yeah, it is.
Oh my God. Yeah, dude, shit happens. Life happens, right? And it's not about what's happening, it's about how we deal with it, right? And so to me, I always fall back on this concept of, what can I have control over? What can I be cause over? Just in the last few days, we've started kind of a different branch of our e-commerce business, and we had some hiccups over the weekend with orders being canceled that we didn't want to be canceled, and trying to deal with people overseas and trying to make sure that everything, was right, and, getting up in the middle of the night and trying to send chats and emails to people that are, in different time zones. And, I think it's easy to let circumstances get the best of us, right? I mean, we all know better. And I commend you for having that self-awareness to be able to step back, right? Because I think most people just stay on the ride, and continue to be victims of circumstance, or, feel like things are happening to them and they can't do anything about it, right? But you stepped out of the situation, and I'm sure you dealt with it in or situations, and dealt with those things in whatever ways that you felt like you needed to. And I think just the act of sort of taking the reins again is healing and is helpful in those situations. So for me, reeling about, oh God, this thing happened, and the moment I sort of took the helm, in front of the computer and started dealing with, writing whatever I thought was the issue, then I felt better, because at least I was doing what I could about it. And of course, I think that brings up this dichotomy of control concept of, there are things you can deal with and there are things that you can't, and don't stress about the things that you don't have any control over. So once you kind of, put yourself back in the driver's seat, at least for me, that's where I feel most comfortable. I don't like feeling like I'm being tossed around by the tides, right? I'd much rather drive a vehicle than be a passenger, right? Or whatever that metaphor is. Because, even if there's issues, then at least you're the one who can correct them or deal with them or whatever. We're in a situation right now. Yeah, you see, I'm in a hotel. I got the John Lavenia background going on when you were traveling, when you were in Utah. I remember the hotels and all that. And I think even when you first moved to Florida, you had the little hotel background. My son's fiance, who has been pregnant for 9 months. I didn't tell anybody, but I'm about to be a grandpa.
Wow.
I know, how crazy.
Yeah.
And I know, dude, nuts. And so there were some issues with the pregnancy, and they were concerned the size of the heart of the baby, and the baby might need surgery. And so Leah and I took off kind of at a moment's notice and are hoteling it. And Leah's in the hospital room with the mom, being supportive and being an advocate, because they're young and, they don't really know what kind of decisions they should be making in terms of, a healthy, self-empowered outcome. So God bless Leah, for being over there and doing stuff. But that's part of, I think it would have been easy for us to sort of just been tossed around by the waves of circumstance, and just the fact that, we're involved. And then for me, when I think about, well, there's nothing I can do about that. And then I kind of slap myself in the face. I'm like, that's just not true, right? What can I do about that? I can send, good positive energy, and, keep my thoughts in the right place about things, because we all know that our thoughts don't affect just our own situation, right? That they affect everything around us. So good on you, man. Nice to chat. Glad to see you guys this morning.
Thank you. Glad you're here, Stuart. And I'm interested to hear about your e-commerce developments. For those who don't know, Stuart and Leah have been credited with some of the best bath bombs ever in the planet. Yeah, that's right. So if you're into bath bombs, Stuart, Thrive bath bombs. That's right. Hey, Missy.
Hey,
Do you do
John.
bath bombs, Missy? Yeah.
No, our bathtub is broken.
Oh my goodness.
Move to our dream house, I bet. I don't know if I'm a green with a little bit of red thrown in. I don't know what. I'm not a plotter. I just jump and do. But I'm reaching out into YouTube land and to all our friends here. I'm gonna make myself admit bad things that happened, because I've had my started this website a year ago to make myself stay alive last April 1st. And the first hosting company destroyed it 4 times. So I rebuilt it 4 times. But then I had somebody look at it, and the web developer said, these files are so corrupted, you can't migrate this anywhere. So you got to rebuild again. So I said, well, I'll take it somewhere else and do it there. I did it. I rebuilt it all by myself. And then the theme failed. And another advisor said, I hate to tell you this, you got to get rid of this theme, you know. So, okay, I did it. And I got it. And I was on a time limit because this other hosting company is still holding it. And by the way, they lost it. They can't find it. And one day when I was all done, I just hit, by accident, I meant to hit delete to get rid of the website. And I hit that slash below and the website came back. I have about 200 tabs open. My computer's is like, please close me. But I just want people to know that my reaction, well, last Sunday, everything was fine. I was ready to add the real URL, go live. And my password didn't work. So I called them up. I said, I need to get back in. And long story short, they destroyed it. They got rid of it, gone, irretrievable, unfindable. I had the original content still, but I had added so much more, and I had a complete and utter meltdown. I didn't even have this much of a meltdown when both my parents died in front of me. And Linda Landry said to me, Missy, you have had a death and you don't realize it yet. And you better take some time off, because I knew I could rebuild it, but I can't get the content back because I don't have the energy to work, put stuff on Word. I don't have the energy for that all the time. So I just work there. And it was said it was being backed up every night. So we didn't back up that part. So anyway, I have done it again. It's got mistakes, but I was gone I completely lost myself. You would not have recognized me. I was so affected. And the funny thing is, right before this happened, I had just read the Serenity thing, where you live beneath the waves, where the tempest can't get you. And I threw my rosary across the room. I said, I don't believe in God anymore, because I couldn't take, this is the 6th or 7th time. And I know God isn't doing this to me, but that's how lost I was. And poor Bob, he was like a victim of my thing, you know. And this was after a 6-hour phone call. They say we can't get it back. And then we had to have a 3-hour phone call the other day, which she listened to the guy screaming at me. She said, well, we're going to give you free hosting for 6 months. I'm like, okay, thanks a lot. That really helps. But it's taken me this long to get back. But while that was going on, I did do some motion. I did do activity with the other business, with the, you know, and I put a smile on my face, and I sent videos, and I talked to people, and I got it done. And then I went back and I cried, because my physiology still is not where it needs to be. So if you're out there and you're listening to this and you think the worst has happened, and maybe it did, but you will survive it. You just have to believe you can. And it took me step by step to build the bricks back on myself, never mind the website. I had to build myself back up again. I feel like, you know, I rebuilt the robot, and I'm still not there, but I'm getting there. But I'm praying it lasts until I can get it up. And because if it breaks again, I don't know, because I broke.
Okay.
I broke. And I probably should have called you, but I didn't want to bother you. But anyway, so just don't give up. No matter what. Churchill, who might have been one of them, he did say, never, ever, ever, ever give up. And that is what you must do.
Good advice from Mr. Churchill. Missy, you know, we've got a whole team of like web designers and experts in that area. So if this is like a commercial website, something you're looking to do, then maybe we should talk. We'll get Shannon in on this. We've got like,
It's gone. They didn't save
I'm
it.
just saying moving forward.
Moving forward,
Yeah. And then there's another tip that I'll just give everyone. And that is everything that we publish, if it's important, write it first on your hard drive with like, I use text edit on a Mac, or it would be Notepad on a PC, right? So just plain text, like here's the content. So I write everything on text edit, which is unformatted, just raw text, right? And then that's on my hard drive, and it's backed up to 2 other hard drives, and it's never lost. So even if the whole web thing went away, here's all the copy. Because what takes the most time? What takes the most time is creating the content.
I know, but I
Right.
physically don't have the strength to do it in 2 places, even to upload it. So
Or
I,
just copy and paste, at that point. But like, here's the raw video file. Great, that's archived. That you own it, right? Here's the copy that you wrote. That's archived. I'm just saying, control. You want to have control, right? So you control your own content and not have the original off in cyberspace somewhere, and hopefully they backed it up. All right. So we could talk more about that though, Missy. Thank you.
well, just don't give up. That's the main thing. No matter what, we cannot give up.
Mhm.
That is failing. That is death. But I did have to, and it wrecked my body too, going through all that.
Mhm. Mhm.
Took a big toll. So
Well, you're back now.
I'm back.
Missy's back, everybody. Whether you like it or not, Missy's back.
Better like it. You're better.
We
like
love you, Missy. You're awesome. All right. Stuart's searching the Wayback Machine. There you go. So you can find web archives and things like that. All right, guys. So anybody else? Any other thoughts today on how we're going to, despite whatever you're facing, go be the best you? Any other thoughts on that? Lindsay.
You didn't do 10 jumping jacks, John.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go do 10 jumping jacks. I'm going to do more than 10. I'm going to do push-ups and sit-ups and pull-ups as well. Yeah.
Mm.
Do you want me to start like now? Is that what you're saying? Like now?
I did. I just did 10 for the camera. Yeah.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, I'm awake. All right, what else do you want to talk about?
Yeah, get that circulation
All
going.
right.
See, now I can say you did it too.
Love you. You're awesome. Thank you, Lindsay. All right.
I gotta say, man, I'm jazzed on Pitch Anything. I've been really enjoying it. I'm looking forward to book study tonight.
Yeah,
Whole different
yeah,
energy than the last one. Whole different energy.
yeah. Major shift here.
Yeah.
So good times, guys. We'll see you at 9 p.m. tonight for the first 2 chapters of Pitch Anything by Oren Klaff. In the meantime, make it a great day. You totally deserve it. And I know you do. Hopefully you do too. So we'll see you.